Hello and welcome to EVHybridNoire's e-mobility fellowship pipeline program informational webinar. My name is Tanae Vini Baker and I am the program lead for the e-mobility fellowship program. We are preparing for our next cohort of amazing opportunities surrounding e-mobility and have created this space to not only give you insight into our program, but to provide our audience with testimonials from a few of our fellows and campus advisors who are currently immersed in the program. Let me introduce you. We have Ms. Carolyn Snell from Claflin University. We have Dr. James Cribbs from North Carolina A&T, Dr. Rohan Thompson from Houston-Tillotson University. We have Nyla Outing from Claflin University and Sean Campbell from Morgan State. Thank you all so much for being here today. Now, I want to go ahead and give you some background on EVHybridNoire and our fellowship program. So EVHybridNoire is the nation's largest network of diverse electric vehicle drivers and enthusiasts. As an advocacy nonprofit, our passionate and dedicated team works to advance the electric vehicles and other multimodal electric transportation solutions that prioritize inclusivity and equitability. EVHybridNoire is trailblazing a new frontier by developing the e-mobility fellowship pipeline program, a first-of-its-kind brand-neutral career pipeline that offers and fosters partnerships between our e-mobility partners and universities serving diverse undergraduate students. This brand-neutral pipeline program exposes underrepresented college students to the many facets existing within the e-mobility space, broadening their STEM workforce potential and prepares them for the next generation of e-mobility changemakers. This groundbreaking and competitive program exposes our students to some of the leading voices in industries, including automotive, e-mobility manufacturers, utilities and energy cooperatives, dealerships, marketing, rideshare and delivery network companies, government agencies, transit agencies, EV charging network companies, automotive and e-mobility suppliers, nonprofits, and more. Thank you all so much for being here today. Just to give you a bit more insight into our program, this program is administered as a hybrid program. It is essentially virtual for the most part because we do offer most of our activities through Zoom. However, we teach the students the ins and outs of transportation policy and the nuance of the current EV industry and the vision where they can lead it next. This includes workshop sessions and speakers from top industry leaders and companies. The program is a rare opportunity for students to connect face-to-face with industry leaders and begin making waves in the industry. The program is conducted from September to May of each year. This is coinciding with the academic school year of most colleges and universities. So from September until March, the fellows will work and meet with industry experts. They have direct Q&As with those speakers and really get insight on not only the job that those speakers and their roles within the company, but also a more culturally and conscious, relevant experience as to what they can do in the industry and where their place may be in the industry as a new student who will be going soon into the workforce. So throughout this program, the students are generally spending about 6 to 8 hours per month. And this would include times where they are not only meeting with those speakers, but also pre-reads that they are given before they have sessions with those speakers so that they can come into the conversation very informed on the information that they are getting and able to have an in-depth conversation and build those networking moments and opportunities. Like I said, these virtual sessions are over Zoom. They are about 2 hours and they happen twice a month from September until March. We also include a soft skills and resume building in that so that the students, once they are able to go out and get to internships and job placements, they have the background, they have the knowledge, they feel confident enough in their abilities to go out and really secure those roles. We also do offsites for our students. This would include some examples such as we recently went to the South by Southwest conference and we took some students on their transportation track and they were able to meet big names, huge names, such as the CEO of General Motors. They talked to a lot of different companies, made a lot of different networking opportunities happen, not only through us, but for themselves, as they felt the confidence to go out and really get to know more about the industry and also the opportunities that exist for them within it. They also went to the EVHnoire e-mobility conference and the Transportation Review Board Mixer, which I will get you more information about from our fellows who happens to be on with us today. And we really do this in order for them to create more tangible learning experiences and to really put all of the knowledge that they learn via these Zoom sessions to practice in these rooms with these professionals and to see themselves in that space and know that they can do the work there. So these experts not only talk about their respective work, but they give guidance and insight in a very culturally relevant framework. Uh, Within this program, I do want to also mention that a stipend is provided, and also you will receive an e-mobility certification at the completion of the program. Now, to give you more insight about the program in an overall view, the theory of change for the program is fellowship, mentorship, potential internship, and job placement. Once you have completed the program, we do not let you go. We hold on to you and we support you continually as we have our alumni network that we build out, and we have created opportunities within that for your continued progress, not only within the e-mobility space, but also in life. So I want to take this time to go ahead and defer to our advisors to kind of get their insight on the program, as that would kind of give you more insight as to where you would be a good fit in the program and also what an advisor's role is in the program and how they can find the best students for this type of program. So I want to thank our advisors so much for joining us today, and we can go ahead and get started. Ms. Snell, our first question is, how have you seen your students flourish in the program? I believe you are muted.
Thank you, Ms. Baker, for that question. I have seen my students from Claflin University really flourish over the last year. I've seen professional development with them. I've seen a high interest in e-vehicles and also the environment.
I think you're muted now, Ms. Baker.
Dr. Cribs, would you like to add on to that?
I would love to add on to that. Students have been engaging with industry professionals, making important networking connections, and have truly looked into the EV space as future professional development.
And Dr. Thompson, anything that you would like to add?
Absolutely. I'd like to add everything my colleague said. Plus, our students just seem more confident. I've seen a more confident student that have been in the program, not just in for the program, but just outside of the classroom also. There's also seemed to be a better understanding of EVs and the whole e-mobility and how that ecosystem and how it fits into sustainability and also how it fits into wealth generation. So there really been a big change in our students. Then I think this program has been a big part of that.
Thank you so much for those thoughtful answers. My next question would be, what type of student would you recommend for this program? Ms. Snell, you can go ahead.
Sure. In answering that question, students who are forward thinkers, students who have inquisitive minds, and students who have the concern for the environment as it relates to emission and fuel and just a whole gamut of things for the network of e-vehicles in general. So those types of students would be great fellows for the program.
Thank you. And Dr. Cribs?
Yeah, we had students in our part of the program from all different majors becoming involved, from the College of Science, Technology, and College of Engineering to the College of Arts and Humanities and Social Sciences and College of Health and Human Services. We've had students that were industrial engineering students all the way to kinesiology students see if this is a beneficial program.
Oh, that's amazing. And Dr. Thompson?
Thank you. I think, first of all, I think the student must have time. I think there's a time commitment to it that I think is very important, but what they'll find at that time is worth it. They must be willing to imagine possibilities that they may not even be in their mind. Students who understand that this is the future, and it is important for brown and black folks that look like us to get into the future now. And this is not going anywhere. This is a part of our future, and I think it's a really good step to be a part of that conversation.
Thank you. Yes, I do agree. This definitely is a time commitment. I appreciate those thoughtful answers to bring that point up. I also want to bring up that the being an advisor is a time commitment. Also, we do ask that you be a part of our sessions that we have, and that you are there to support the students. At least on a bi-weekly basis, to ensure that they are excelling in the program, and then also helping them as they will do their capstone presentations and their projects, and really ensuring that they are doing and being the best and brightest that they can. And so I asked, what advice do you give other advisors coming in concerning this program on how to connect with their fellows?
Some pointers that I would give incoming advisors to be committed to the time as well as the students, for making it a success and a wonderful experience for the students, to meet with your students possibly bi-monthly beyond the time that's scheduled for e-mobility time on Wednesday evenings, and just be available for them to assist them, because it's new for some students, and for others it's just developing their horizon.
Thank you for that. Dr. Cribbs, anything to add?
I'd love to add to kind of help foster more of an engaged environment. Highly recommend students meet early on, separate from the total EV group. And the other thing would be to set up a leadership structure, because there's a lot of tasks that the students need to accomplish, and having someone who's the point person for each task would be a great idea.
Perfect. That's a very thoughtful answer. And Dr. Thompson?
Yeah, absolutely. Like what was said first, it's a time commitment, not just for the students. Learning from myself as inaugural, this year, it really is a time commitment, and doing it over again. I think it's important that I would push to advisors, like I'd push to myself, invest more time in it, because the more time you invest in it, I think the more you get out of it, and the more then you can give to the students. So I think that's important. I think also that what was said, I think is important, is what happens on the sessions that you have shouldn't be the one stop. It has to be something that you take from there and put it on your campus. And it becomes almost like a culture as part of the campus. So you have other activities, other programming, more time commitment that's taken out of what's just simply done in your sessions, so that it can become a whole movement on campus. Because I think it's worth it.
Thank you so much for those thoughtful answers. I do agree the time commitment is definitely there, and we appreciate you all for putting that time in thus far within the program. I did not mention before, but I do want to mention that our advisors do also receive an honorarium as a thank you for their commitment and assistance, because we know that is a lot of work on your end, already compiled with what you are already doing on campus. So we definitely appreciate you all. I do want to go ahead and move on to our fellows who we have with us today to kind of get their insight on the program also. So our fellows are going to join us now, and they will introduce themselves. Nyla, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nyla Outing. I'm a sophomore environmental science major. I minor in Spanish from Hopkins, South Carolina, but I go to Claflin University, and I'm excited to be here.
Perfect. And Sean, go ahead.
Hi, everyone. My name is Sean Campbell. I'm a senior at Morgan State University, and I'm from Chicago, Illinois, and I'm just really happy to be here as well.
Well, we are happy to have you both. I am going to go ahead and get started with your questions for today. As a fellow, what new perspectives have you gained throughout the program?
As a fellow, I've gained so much during my time here. One, I've gained a broadened perspective on the vast possibilities within the e-mobility space. There's so many opportunities, so many companies that are willing and looking to invest into us, invest into HBCUs, invest into the new talent that is available, and give us a new opportunity to grow and expand in an emerging field. Also, I love the representation, the diversity of these companies, of the representatives of these companies. They understand us and our ethnicities, our backgrounds, the different things that we've experienced. So it's just really rewarding and exciting to see. And lastly, I would say I've gained a passion for being a community advocate, for listening and amplifying the voices of the communities that we will work in the future and making sure that their concerns are met.
Thank you so much for that answer. That is wonderful. Sean, anything for you? Anything to add there?
Yes, I have a couple things to say as well. To chime in as well, I would definitely like to agree and say that the community involved with the EV space is just so large, and that there is so many, not just people involved, but structures and layers in order for the EV space to be successful when it comes to infrastructure, politics, marketing, even incorporating the green venture banking. So just knowing that there's so many layers involved to just get to an electrical vehicle, knowing that there's people that care so much, that have passion towards it, it makes me feel that I didn't know that there's this, I didn't have this perspective until now. So it's really comforting to not have this right now.
Thank you so much for that. That is amazing to hear that you all are having such a great experience, and it really is translating outside of this actual cohort. And you were able to even use that experience in other ways. So, what advice would you give to new fellows on how to gain the most out of the program, like you all are doing?
I know for me, there's a couple things I can say. There's so much that goes into this fellowship program, from the professionals that you meet to the HBCU students to your cohort on campus. You really find another community and another group of intellectuals who are looking to learn more. So I guess my advice for fellows to gain the most out of this experience is to don't be afraid to engage with the professionals. They want to pour into you. They have so much information to give. So ask them questions, or just congratulate them on their presentation. It always helps, and they love to engage with us. I'll also say engage with the other HBCU students that are in the program as well. It's a very unique space to be in, with all so many different HBCU students in one place. So I think I've found that really rewarding, to be able to know other students from different universities. In addition, just capitalize on time management and communication, and that'll take you really far for sure.
Thank you, Sean. Anything to add there?
I couldn't agree. I couldn't agree more. I would love to say how reading the articles and the messages that are sent prior to the meetings, because it's great information, and to know that there's resources out there that, it relates to what we're learning in these information sessions. And for the discussion, it just gives you more of an insight to what we're talking about. And in staying engaged and writing down these questions that you may have with these interviewed people that may be coming onto these discussion calls, you may not have something that you may have the time to ask, but you having the time to write it down and just quickly say it gives you the privilege to just get that quick insight. And then, in addition to also being able to share with your classmates or your professors that, hey, I'm an EV fellow, like that's pretty cool. Like being able to kind of like tell, like I'm talking, like, not to just toot my horn, but like, yeah, I'm in this cool cohort, and I get to basically spread this knowledge and awareness to this industry. So being able to be really engaged with this program and being able to take all that you can is a great responsibility that you can of yourself.
I think those are wonderful and thoughtful answers, and really do speak to the mission for the program, to not just have you all keep all of this knowledge to yourselves, but really to be able to spread it out to the community, and though in your peers, and be able to spread the message of how e-mobility is really changing and revolutionizing the way we do life, and how we can have access and be a part of that change. And so my next question would be, what advice do you give in balancing the fellowship program in your academic work? And I preface this by saying, I know you all have been meeting with your speakers from September until March, and then in March we flipped over and we started doing capstone work because we have a capstone presentation that happens in May. And I know that that has been a time commitment as well. And so I want to know, what advice would you give to those new students who will be coming in as fellows as to what they can do to kind of balance out the work that they have within the program and the work that you all are doing outside of the program?
Thank you, Tanae, for that question. As you mentioned, it definitely is a time commitment. I've learned in my participation what works best for me when it comes to time management and being able to manage academics and other organizations in addition to being a part of this cohort. There's three things that have really helped me, and well, actually more. But number one, I set reminders on my phone. So I know to read the pre-reads or send this message to my advisor. I put each meeting in my calendar and get reminders from that as well. And I also I write things down on my agenda just to keep myself on track, and so I can see it visually to know what I have to do. But I would also encourage open communication with everyone. If you know you might miss a meeting in the future, plan ahead and plan to email your advisor, email the manager, just to make sure that everyone's in the know, and then you can go accordingly. And last thing, which I think is a big one, is self-care. In these meetings, we digest a lot of information, and it's a lot. It's sometimes a long time, and in order to be your best self, in order to continue to show up for your cohort and for the other different activities that you are a part of, be sure to decompress and relax after each session and just refill your cup. Make sure you can keep going.
Thank you. Sean, anything to add there?
Just to add right off, she left off, and to keep your cup not completely full, having like space not just for yourself but to be able to like share the workload with other people in your group, because when coming down to do your capstone project, you need to have enough time to be able to do all the necessary things with the proposal. You need to be sure you have the presentation, such and such, making sure it's all organized and structured. So being able to give clear communication with your team members so you're not in a rush and you're able to compile a good presentation. So basically being able to have good time management and a organized schedule. And that will basically give you the ability to have a productive academic work life and to just stay on top of your program work.
Thank you so much for those answers. Sean, if I could ask you one follow-up question to end us off. I know that you did attend one of our offsites. You went to the Transportation Research Board Mixer. If you could just give us some insight as to your experience there and the opportunities that you were able to create.
Oh, yes, I would love to. At the Transportation Mixture, it was a great experience. I was able to reconnect with people after the holiday season. So it was a good time to be able to have fun and be able to, get to see the people I'm working with in this industry, and also kind of just connect and network and tell them who I am and what school I go to and how I see myself in this industry and how I can put my foot in the door and kind of get the emails and the location of where these people are working in the corporate business world. So it was a good space and a good time I feel like not just me, but I felt like everybody was having a good time at the time. So I was really lucky to have the privilege to have this opportunity to be in that time in the space. Thank you.
That is perfect. Thank you so much to our fellows and to our advisors for your thoughtful answers. I think that really does help us to kind of show what the program is like in real time and helps it to be more tangible as to the experiences that you are able to kind of share with us. So thank you for that. In closing, I do want to thank our audience also for viewing this webinar and kind of getting more information about the eMobility Fellowship Pipeline Program. Should you have any further questions about how your college or university can become involved in the eMobility Fellowship Pipeline Program, please email us at eMobilityFellowship@EVHybridNoire.com. And if you are an undergraduate student student at one of our partnering universities, and that is an undergraduate student of any classification, any major, we ask that you would please apply to be a fellow in our upcoming fellowship. bit.ly/eMobility Fellowship. Our deadline is July 31. Thank you again so much for attending this session. Once again, thank you to our fellows and our advisors, and we hope to connect with you all soon. Have a great one.